Hey guys, what's up? It's Heather Grant. So I went to a training a couple of weeks ago and I learned a lot about why people quit building a doTERRA business. And I wanted to share with you today some of the things that I learned. So I'm going to share with you today, I'm actually going to share with you 7 reasons why people quit building a doTERRA business, why people actually stop building their dream, and then ways that you can counteract that so that that doesn't happen to you. Because what ends up happening is anyone who starts building doTERRA builds it with the idea that they want to create financial freedom or they want to earn a certain amount of income. And then what happens is all of these distractions and things get in the way, and then a lot of times they quit and they don't reach their dream, they don't reach their goal. And I want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you guys. And so I'm going to share with you the 7 reasons people quit building a doTERRA business, and then what you can do to make sure that that doesn't happen to you so that you can actually reach your goal and be one of those people that's successful. Because there's so many people in doTERRA that have been successful and have had great success, and we want to make sure that you guys are one of those people. And so the first reason that people quit building a doTERRA business is because they're tired, right? People get really tired and you know, you work hard in the very beginning, especially, right? You work really, really hard. Your paycheck's very, very small. And this really is, as people building a doTERRA business, we really are farmers, right? We really do have all of this work that needs to be done before we get the harvest, right? We do the planting of the seeds and the nurturing and growing, and then the plants get bigger and we have to weed them and water them. And there's all of this work. And sometimes it's really, really, really tiring. It's a long time before that payday comes. And so I think a lot of times people quit building a doTERRA business simply because they're tired. They get overwhelmed. I know that there's times when it's 10 o'clock at night and someone will text me and say, you know, what do I do? What essential oil do I use for a mosquito bite? And I'm thinking, just look at your app, right? Look it up in your book. Don't bother me. I don't want to be bothered. And I'm not usually like that. I'm usually come from a very service place. But we all have days where we're just tired. There's so many other responsibilities that we have. Some of us are wives or husbands or fathers or mothers. We have other full-time jobs and church stuff that we're doing and community stuff. And the bottom line is sometimes we just get tired. And so I think that's one of the reasons that people quit doTERRA business is because they just get tired. The second reason is because people get complacent. And complacent, if you look or Google it, it's another word for complacent is smug. People get complacent. They think that they are good enough and they become very not teachable. It's really interesting to me as I work with different builders. I'll invite certain builders or people to trainings like, hey, come do this training or come do this accountability thing. And some people jump at that and some people say, no, I don't need to be a part of that group training. I don't need that extra time. I don't need to do a mentor call. I'm not open to that. And it's really interesting. Those people eventually always quit. If they're not open to being, to learning more, if they're not open to being part of trainings, if they're not open to being teachable and being taught, people quit. They become complacent. They're smug or they think they know too much. This also happens at higher ranks. So a lot of times you'll see people who maybe reach the rank of platinum or diamond and their paycheck is really, really good. And they're like, yeah, I don't need to up my skills, right? I already reached the rank of diamond. I don't need to keep learning how to close. I already know how to close. I already know how to enroll. I have leaders that they get stuck. They get in this spot where they're stuck. And rather than listen to upline advice or suggestions, they think they know it all. Even though they're stuck. They're stuck at the same rank for 2 or 3 years. They're not open to doing things. They'll say, well, no, I already did that once, right? Like I tried to make and take class once. It didn't work for me. Or I tried a booth once and they just don't work. Sorry, I can't build that way. And they're not open to continue learning and teaching. So that's one of the reasons people quit is they just get complacent. Another reason that people quit is that they don't duplicate themselves. Okay, you guys, you can only build this business for so long by yourself. And it's not very much fun. It's really, really hard when you're building this business by yourself. You don't make a lot of money. You're doing everything. Every person that's put on your team, pretty much you put there, right? Or your upline puts there. And so if you don't duplicate, a lot of times people just quit because you don't get very far. Your paycheck isn't very big. And what ends up happening is people don't have the skills. Like if you haven't duplicated, if you're one of those leaders that you haven't duplicated, I'm going to be really honest with you and say this very, very truthfully. It's because you don't have the skill set. Okay. You have to learn the skill set. You have to learn how to teach people and invite people to join you in a business in a powerful way. And if you don't have those skills, then you need to skill up, right? You have to learn how to present this business to others. You have to learn how to lead others. And if you don't know how to do that, that's not a problem. You just need to learn how to do it. And the longer you wait to learn how to do that, the longer it takes to duplicate, the higher your risk of quitting, okay? A fourth reason people quit doTERRA is because they get offended. You guys, Everybody gets offended in doTERRA. I know that I have personally been offended by every single one of my upline members that I've worked with. Not just once, not just twice, but multiple times. Okay, we're all humans. As building this business, we all have people that offend us. Okay, we all have good experiences and bad experiences. We have upline who treats us unfairly or who doesn't care about us or says something that's hurtful or harmful. That happens to every single one of us. People have bad experiences with maybe an account manager, or they have a bad customer service experience where they're mad at doTERRA. Maybe there's something that the owners say that they don't agree with. Like, there's just so many ways that you can get offended, and a lot of people will get offended by their upline and quit. And I want to let you guys know that you will be offended sooner or later. If you're building this business, you're going to be offended, probably even by me. And I apologize for that, but I also know that that's part of this, that sometimes we're human and we have a bad day or we say something that we don't mean, and it can be taken offensive. And so people get offended. That's one of the reasons that they quit building doTERRA. The fifth reason that people quit building doTERRA is because they make a mistake, or they make several mistakes that are maybe costly in a row, and that causes them to want to quit or to quit. Maybe they tell a client the wrong info, the wrong promo info. You guys, I mentioned this one makes me smile because I actually did that this week. I helped one of my leaders sign somebody up, and I'm like, well, just tell them their points will be there in 3 business days, right, with this month's promotion. Well, for those of you who know and have actually read the promotion, I was complacent, right? I thought I knew it all. They actually don't get their points until the middle of May. So I made a mistake. I told somebody some wrong information. I know when I was new, I remember telling someone they were going to get, when they enrolled, they were going to get the free product of the month, not realizing that it's only for LRP orders. And I think everyone's done that. Like, I've had tons of leaders make that mistake. Like, literally everyone does that sometime in their business. We all make mistakes. Sometimes it can be costly mistakes. Sometimes maybe you undercharge people for BOGOs and it ends up costing you money or something like that. And a lot of times that is a reason for people to quit. They just say, oh, I can't do it anymore. I make too many mistakes. Or I told someone wrong and I'm embarrassed, and so they quit. The 6th reason people quit is because of doubt. Okay, they have doubt. They doubt themselves. Most of the time when people quit building a doTERRA business, it's because they don't have faith in themselves. They doubt themselves. Or maybe they doubt the business opportunity, right? Maybe they doubt MLMs in general and that you can actually make money in an MLM. There's always a reason to doubt, right? We're always going to have reasons to doubt. It's really interesting to me. There is evidence all around us that building a doTERRA business does not work, right? I could list off to you guys 10 or 20 people that I personally know who have tried to build a doTERRA business and it didn't work, right? They quit. That's usually the only reason it doesn't work, is because they didn't quit or they didn't scale up, right? And so there's a ton of people, like, there's evidence that this business does not work. Okay, well, there's also evidence that this business does work and that you can make a ton of money and be very, very successful. It's all about what evidence you look at. And you always have a choice with doubt if you're going to choose doubt or belief. But what ends up happening is a lot of people choose doubt. They choose doubt, and they doubt themselves. They doubt the company. They doubt their business partners. And so they quit because of doubt. I see that a lot. And then the last reason that people quit, and you guys, there's more than 7. These are just kind of 7 of the main ones. But the other reason I see people quit a lot is because they're busy. They just get busy. They have other things that they feel like are more important. They get really sidetracked. It's so interesting how many people start building this business and then they see these little side things. They're like, if you guys have seen the Disney movie Over the Hedge with Remy, where he drinks like his caffeinated drink and then he's like all over the place, right? Like, he just zigzags everywhere. And I think that happens to a lot of people. They don't have that laser focus and they get distracted. They get busy with life. They get busy with all of the other obligations, and they see all of these other side things like, oh, I could make money doing this, or I could make money doing that. I see a lot of doTERRA people who are like, decide, oh, I'm going to build a coaching business, or I'm going to build a nutrition business with my doTERRA business, or I'm going to do massage clients, or just all of these other modalities, right? With alternative medicine, you guys are exposed to so many foot zoning and acupuncture and all of these amazing, awesome things, but I see people get distracted from the real residual income, right? Giving a massage to someone, you're going to get paid for that, but it's not a residual income. And so I see people get distracted. They get busy and they quit. And so I wanted to talk to you guys just briefly about how you can fight those 7 reasons, right? If we know that those are 7 of the pretty much most common reasons that people quit building a doTERRA business, what are some things that we can do to keep those things from happening to us? So the first one that we talked about was tired, right? People quit because they get tired. So one of the things that you can do to make sure that doesn't happen to you, that you don't get tired and quit, is that you do a really good job at taking care of yourself, that self-care. Making sure that you do things from your joy list. So it was really interesting. When I started this business, I went from kind of taking care of myself. I spent a lot of time watching chick flicks and reading romance novels, clean ones, but just all of this fun things that I enjoy doing to just building my business. And I kind of just let that joy list go. And it didn't serve me. You have to have both. Like, you have to work your butt off in your business, but you also have to play twice as hard. And so having that self-care keeps you from getting tired. So if you're someone who you're feeling tired in your business, it's because you're not having fun. And so you need to find a way to have fun. And that looks differently for every single person out there. But find that joy list. What do you enjoy doing? Is it reading a book? Is it going to an amusement park? Is it going on a walk or taking a bath or getting your nails done? Or there's a million ways or things that you can do, but self-care is so important. You guys, just personally, I spend a lot of money on self-care. I go get foot zones. I go get massages. I have a sister-in-law who's my personal trainer. I go work out with a couple times a week. I spend a lot of money on really good food that I like, that's healthy. I spend a ton of money. A ton of my doTERRA money goes to my self-care. And it's really interesting. Every time that I up the amount of money that I spend on self-care, my check goes up, like up a lot. I noticed about 6 months ago, my check doubled really, really quickly. And I noticed it was because I started to go get massages and foot zones on a regular basis. And I was really filling my cup. I was taking care of myself. I was being selfish and filling my cup. And so then I just had a ton to give to other people. When I showed up to serve my leaders, or I showed up on a one-on-one to talk to somebody about their health concerns, I could show up fully and present and be there to bless them and help them because I wasn't tired, because I had taken care of me. I had more to give and could serve and show up to serve in a bigger way. So self-care, you guys, have such a testimony of self-care. The second reason that people quit is because they become complacent, right? This is where personal development comes into play. You are never good enough. I don't think that there'll ever be a time in my business, even as a presidential diamond, where I'm going to say, oh, I'm already really good at enrolling people. I can't improve my closing skills, or I can't improve my teaching skills. That just never happens. All of us always have room for improvement. We can always get better at mentoring our leaders. We can always be better at teaching a one-on-one or learning key phrases and words and the psychological part of selling. There's always things that we can be learning, and it's very important that we are open to learning, that we're open to trying new things. Just because you've been building this business and are even successful building this business at years 3 or 4, it's no excuse for becoming complacent. You have to continue to skill up your mindset and your skill set and be willing to pay for that. I spend a lot of money on mentors. You guys, literally hundreds and hundreds of dollars on business coaches and mentors for me personally, because I don't want to be complacent, because I want to continue to improve. I know that every time I hire a business coach and I invest money in my learning and my growth and my development, I am going to better be able to serve those people that I come in contact with. And I don't ever want to become complacent or think that I'm good enough. And so making sure that you do personal development and that you invest time in bettering yourself is really the key, and being open to learning and being open to new ideas and being teachable. That's one of the best things that you can do to keep from getting complacent. Duplicate, right? Okay, so we talked about this. One of the things that you can do to make sure that you duplicate, because if you don't duplicate, eventually you'll quit. It's how it always happens, is you have to skill up. Okay, so it was really interesting. Roxanne Bybee, who many of you guys know, she's a presidential diamond with doTERRA, United States founder. Her husband did the video, Band Down by the River, right? You guys are familiar with that. She talked at our Gold Platinum breakout at Leadership, and she said that almost every single problem in doTERRA, like 95% of the problems that you guys have in your business can actually be solved by enrolling more people. When you enroll people, you have people to work with, you have people to present the business to, and the more people you present the business to, like, it is a numbers game. At the bottom, at the end of the day, for every 10 people you present to, 1 to 3 people are going to be interested in the business. And so in order to duplicate, you have to enroll. And if you are not enrolling people, then you're doing something wrong. Like, you guys, for those that are trying to build at that diamond, blue diamond, presidential diamond level, you need to be minimally enrolling 2 to 3 to 4 people a month, right? They're like at least 2 people, okay? And if that's not what your number is, then you need to figure out, okay, what do I need to do to get that number higher, right? Do I need to be teaching more classes? Do I need to be talking to more people, making new contacts? Or is it a skill level, right? I'm talking to plenty of people, but I'm not actually enrolling those people. What can I do to skill up so I can close more of those sales, and then I can actually present the business? If you haven't duplicated, for the most part, it's a skill problem. You just have not developed that skill. And so what do you need to do to develop that skill? What training do you need to take? What mentor do you need to work with? What coach do you need to work with? to be able to learn that skill of presenting the business that you can duplicate, because that is something that's so important. You guys, duplicating, that's when your business gets fun, when you have people to work with and leaders that are part of you, and you work at something as a team. That's really, really important. And then the other one that they talked about is offended, getting offended. Just know that you will be. I don't think that there's anything that you can really do to not get offended other than to choose not to be offended, right? Your upline is going to do some hurtful things. You know, you might have a bad customer experience, or, you know, whatever. Something's going to happen. Somebody's going to say something to you sooner or later. And you just have to decide that no matter what happens to you or who offends you, you just go ahead and build this business with or without them. And sometimes maybe even in spite of them. I know there's been times when I've been offended by my upline where I was like, I'll show you, like, I'm going to reach this rank without you, right? Like, you just keep going. You're going to be offended, and you just have to let it roll off. You have to develop that thick skin and just be successful no matter what anyone says or does or who hurts you. Mistakes, I would just say learn from them. One of the best things you can do is just to learn from your mistakes. You don't need to quit because you make a mistake. Just learn from them so you don't make that mistake again. The other thing I would say is listen to your upline. There are so many times, you guys, this is what I guess frustrates me. I'm going to get on my soapbox for a second, so look out. This is what frustrates me, is when I see leaders on my team make a mistake, and it's a mistake that could have been avoided if they would have watched the video training that I did. That's really bad, but it's so interesting to me. Like, I'll do this video training on whatever it is, placements or exceptions or enrolling people from another country or whatever it is. I'll do this video, I'll post it on our business page, and like 2 weeks later, I'll have a leader that calls me in tears or is really upset because they made some sort of a mistake. And it's like, you guys, did you not watch the video that I posted where I told you not to do that? Like, I've been doing this a while. I've made a lot of costly mistakes, you guys, and I can save you from making a lot of those costly mistakes if you listen to me. So listen to your upline. Like, yes, there's going to be times when you do things differently than your upline does. I'm totally guilty of that, and I think that's okay to do things different than your upline, but learn from their mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes they made. Listen to them and learn from them. They can save you a lot of money and time and wasted energy if you listen to them. Doubt. What do we do for doubt? It's simply a choice. You guys, every single day you wake up, you have a choice to believe in yourself or to doubt yourself. That's it. Those are the only two options. You can believe in yourself. You can believe in doTERRA. You can believe in your team. You can believe in the product that you have that's going to change people's lives, or you can doubt those things. And it really comes down to a choice. It comes down to your attitude. Do you choose to believe in yourself? Do you choose to believe that essential oils work? Do you choose to believe that you have the ability to help somebody else with essential oils? Do you believe that you can help somebody else with the business? Do you believe that the business works? Do you believe that this is the road to financial freedom for yourself and for other people on your team? And if you choose belief, then you're good. If you choose to doubt, then sooner or later you're going to quit. It's just a choice that we make every single day. And that's where making sure that you're up on your personal development and self-care can really help you to choose that belief and to be in a really good space. Oh, one last thing with that is what you, I just wanted to say that what you feed grows. If you feed into those doubts, they grow. If you feed into that belief, then that's what grows. That creates that action, that proof for your brain. And so just know that that's how it works. Last one is busy, right? How do we not be busy, right? Because we're all going to be busy. We all have things that we need to do. But the key really, I think, to making sure that other things don't take the place of your business is treating your business like a business. Okay. So one of the most important things that you guys can do is to set business hours. If you do not have business hours set, certain set times when you work this as a business, you will quit sooner or later. Like, you have to treat this like a real business, especially if you want a business paycheck, right? If you're just doing it as a hobby, then it doesn't matter. You're going to get a hobby paycheck and it's not a big deal. But if you're someone who you do want to create financial freedom, you want to earn large amounts of money, you want to rank advance, you have to treat this seriously like a business. You have to invest in it like a business. You have to set business hours, and you have to build that pipeline. And really, honestly, you guys, your business hours, to me at least, that's a sacred time. Like, my work time, those hours that I'm working are very, very important to me. That is those hours I sacrifice to be able to build my business, knowing that in the long term that it's going to pay off and be a huge benefit. And sacrifice is about giving up what we want now, or what's convenient now, for what we want most, right? I choose every single day to give up 3 or 4 hours of time, my free time, when I could be reading a book or watching a movie or just hanging out and doing nothing, watching TV or chilling. I choose right now to sacrifice some of my time and some of my money to build a dream, because I know and maybe this is just the futuristic part of me, I know it's going to pay off. I know it's going to get me where I want. Like I'm seeing that paycheck get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I know that this is the path to financial freedom. And so it's staying focused on what I want most. And what I want most is that financial freedom. And so you have to have that long-term vision, right? Like you have to do, and it's really up to you guys as far as how you keep that in your mind. Maybe it's a vision board, maybe it's affirmations, but you have to keep that dream and that goal at the forefront of your mind. Like I think about my business every single day. And so, yeah, I'm busy. I'm one of the most busy people I know. I'm a mom and I've got all this other stuff going on, but my work hours are sacred and I'm very, very focused on income producing things during that time. And so that helps. The last thing that I want to share with you guys, so those are 7 reasons that people quit, 7 things that you can do to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. The last little thing that I wanted to share with you is an analogy that Andy Goddard taught me. When you start building this business, it's like trying to get a fire going. And it sucks. It's really, really hard. Like when you're by yourself, right? And you've got your match and you've got your wood and you're trying to get this fire going and you get it going and it goes out and you try again, right? Like you're sampling a ton, you're contacting a lot, you're teaching a lot, and once in a while you get a little enrollment here, a little enrollment there, a little spark, and you just sit there and you blow on it. It takes so much time and so much effort to get that fire going, right? When you are trying to build a business and you are new, it's hard. You're doing it by yourself, and it's really, really hard to just baby that fire. And if anybody just blows it wrong, it just goes out and it all falls apart. That's how our businesses are when we're new. That little fire is so hard to get started, and we're working by ourselves and the wind blows it blows it out, and it's so frustrating. But I promise you guys that if you keep at it, you keep trying to take care of that little fire, that eventually it grows and it gets bigger, and you get on your back office and all of a sudden you see 20 people and then 30 people and then 50 people. You can see it getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it gets stronger, right? And then pretty soon you're not doing it by yourself, right? Then you duplicate it and you have other leaders who are throwing logs on your fire, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually, you guys, it becomes this bonfire, like this literal forest fire that just takes over and that you can't stop. That no matter what you do, at one point your fire gets to be so big that you can't stop it. Your business grows and expands to where it doesn't matter what you do, you cannot stop it. I was thinking about this, and it's just this is when it gets fun, you guys. If I decided tomorrow that I no longer wanted to build a doTERRA business, and in fact, I went against it. I started throwing water on the fire, and I started saying, you guys, essential oils, they don't work, they're crap, the business doesn't work, you guys should all quit. And I really tried hard to talk to every single one of my leaders, and I was throwing water on that fire as fast as I could. I wouldn't be able to stop it. There are people on my team that it wouldn't matter how negative I was or what doubt I had, or if I quit, or if I badmouthed my team or my company or my upline. I have leaders on my team right now who I know would go ahead and continue to build to diamond and presidential diamond without me. Eventually, the fire that took so long and so much energy to get going, eventually it gets so big that you cannot stop it, even if you wanted to. And you guys, that's where the payoff comes. When you have other people throwing those logs on the fire, and it just grows and it expands, and you see it blessing all of these lives, and you get on your back office and there's hundreds and hundreds of people every single month, and hundreds and thousands of volume that takes place, and your paycheck goes from $2, or like my first unit level was like $1.79 to $100 to $500 to $1,000 to $2,000 to $5,000, and it just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And you guys, that does happen. And so for those of you who are brand new, or who feel like you're doing everything that you can to keep that little forest fire going, to not let it go out, I would just encourage you just to keep at it. Keep nurturing that little fire, because I promise you that if you do, eventually it will take off and become this crazy wildfire that you couldn't stop even if you wanted. And that's where it gets fun. That's when you see hundreds of people's lives being blessed by these essential oils, and not just by the oils, but by the amazing business opportunity that we have to be able to grow and to create not only financial freedom for our families, but also time freedom for our families, where we can travel and spend time doing those things that bring us joy and passion. You guys, I love you all, each and every single one of you on my team. I'm so grateful for you. I hope that you will recognize and be aware of those things that can stop you from reaching your goals. Those 7 things, those 7 reasons people quit are very, very real. I've seen people quit because of every single one of those reasons. And I hope because you're aware of them, you'll know how to safeguard and protect your dream and your vision and your future from those things, because you now know exactly what to do to make sure that that doesn't happen and to make sure your forest fire continues to grow. Everybody, have a great day. I love you so much. If you have any questions, you guys know you can reach out to me anytime. Shoot me a text, send me a message. Love you all. Bye, guys.